Hey everyone, in this video I want to highlight certain beliefs and behaviors modern women have adopted, which on the surface may seem harmless, but I believe are having a serious negative impact on women's physical and mental well-being, happiness, and fulfillment in life. Both men and women become disenfranchised when the reality of their lives is far from their expected life trajectory. For example, having unfulfilled dreams, goals, and timelines. The difference between men and women is how they react to this. Most men tend to accept that self-improvement is required to become better. They look towards the practices of successful men, seek male advice and mentorship, and self-reflect on their limitations and what they are missing in efforts of achieving what they desire. Most women, on the other hand, look for external reasons and explanations for why they're not where they want to be. Women will blame others and drag other people down to their level to feel justified or validated. They choose not to accept personal accountability and will often blame men or society's sexism for not being able to achieve what they desire. On the other hand, men encourage one another to become better. They won't sugarcoat anything. They'll be honest and brutal with the truth. They will point out where other men need to give attention to an issue through the use of humor, talking smack, and playful shaming. They will also invest in each other's successes by inviting their friends to the gym, doing BJJ, or attending networking events. Men do not give pity or accept a pitiful attitude from other men. Good men don't support other men's bad behavior, poor choices, or disrespect of women. The idea of hurting another man's feelings is not a big concern for men. This can seem harsh and non-supportive, especially when viewed from the female perspective. But in the world of men, this is a vital way they build motivation, resilience, and character in each other. Women, on the other hand, will generally not enforce accountability on other women. Rather, they will give pity. They will lend support to the blame game and excuse parade, because giving emotional support is more important to women's bonding process. Unfortunately, this keeps women blind and not accountable to the real issues that need to be addressed. So in this video, I want to highlight 4 specific examples that I think are reinforcing negative beliefs and behaviors amongst women and preventing us from achieving some of our deepest desires in life, like love, happiness, beauty, and fulfillment. Number 1, body count doesn't matter and promiscuity is empowering. Number 2, women are beautiful at any size and it's the man's fault if he doesn't love you. Number 3, a woman's career is the most important thing in the world. And number 4, women are the prize, of course. Before we get into it, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I was thinking of making a follow-up video with your responses and feedback, so make sure those comments are good. All right, let's get into it. Body count is a complicated issue. Why? Because women enjoy good sex and are driven, just like men, by hormones that biologically generate a sex drive for reproduction and intimate bonding. Even when dating with the intention of finding their future husband, women can rack up a high body count just through the process of dating and then over time finding those partners unsuitable. Now, to unpack this issue and try to understand why this might be. Men approach dates looking for reasons to like the woman, while women approach dates looking for reasons not to like the man. There's an obvious gap between these two priorities. Furthermore, modern women are very sensitive to red flags or status drops or turnoffs in men because online dating apps put hundreds of men simultaneously in their pool of options. It's literally the equivalent of walking into an ice cream shop that has 10,000 flavors. You want to sample all of them to make sure you're buying your favorite one. Too much choice is not a good thing. However, culturally, dating apps have reduced the negative social stigma previously put on women who are deemed loose, sexually needy, or man-hungry. Given these problems in modern dating, it's apparent why even women who are dating for a relationship can end up repeating a cycle of date, sex, next, racking up their body count over time. From the male perspective, men are quite vocal in expressing their dislike for high body count women. This is not a recent attitude. There are cultural references in movies and books going back decades, reinforcing this opinion. Even when men no longer expected a virgin. In prior centuries, the expectation of a virgin at marriage was based on limiting exposure to sexually transmitted diseases, ensuring any children were indisputably the prodigy of the male, and basic male pride that they had sole knowledge of intimacy with a woman. While men no longer expect a woman to be a virgin, they do consider an extensive sexual history unattractive. One of the main concerns being the woman's ability to pair bond and to be a faithful and loyal partner. This creates a predicament for women who want to eventually participate in a long-term committed relationship with a man. Either retain as low a body count as possible by dating with intention, by delaying sexual interactions until much later in the relationship, or enjoy hookup culture, sexual dating, and then potentially feeling the need to lie to a future high-value partner about one's true body count, which is a risky strategy that could end the relationship if the man discovers the truth. Now, it's certainly the case there are men who don't really care about a woman's body count, but most men, especially men with options, will filter out the women with a high body count. Men are vocal in this preference. There's little ambiguity. Feminists will tell women that men's preferences for a low body count is control and abuse. They will say that any man who judges your sexual past is toxic. But the women who tell you body count doesn't matter, they have a high body count. These lies sold by feminists are harming modern women and preventing women from achieving what they truly desire, being in a loving, committed, and long-term relationship with a high-value man. Thus, the best strategy for women who aspire to find a good man is to keep their body count as low as possible, to delay sexual activity with dating options, and to focus on demonstrating value to the high-value men who want to date them. Before I end this point, I want to talk about a few strategies that I think would help both men and women restore some unity and respect in dating. Number one, dating apps are gamified. Swipe left, swipe right, send messages, and go on dates while monkey branching to the higher attraction scores. This is a false reality where it's most profitable to keep you in the dating pool. A better use of time is to pursue self-improvement and growth, which have real attraction benefits, like pursuing an education, traveling, work promotions, fitness, hobbies, passions, side hustles, etc. Number two, aim to meet men in real life. The spark will be obvious when it happens, and both parties will be more invested in the dating process. Being impatient will just result in more unsuitable matches. Number three, there's a certain expectation in dating that sexual intimacy occurs around the third date. All fine if the relationship goes well and blossoms into a beautiful partnership. However, many interactions only last a few short weeks or months, leading women to have a significant number of sexual partners with no long-term benefits. Creating a hard rule of 8 dates or 8 weeks or some higher standard before sexual intimacy would help women better judge the potential of a relationship. A woman cannot be expected to judge a man's true personality in 3 dates. Even 8 is not sufficient for that, but 8 gives both parties a stronger indicator if there is a future. Good men will not be put off by waiting, and it will build attraction in the right men. Number 4, it's a common perception that women have unrealistic standards. And this might be true, but men need to understand that standards, filters, and tests are important to ensure that the man you're potentially having a child with in the future has the character to protect, provide, and support the family, as well as be a mature and valued partner. By delaying sexual intimacy, more focus can be given to discovering the real character of the man, to the potential of a shared future and loving partnership, and more opportunity for the man and the woman to demonstrate value, and to ensure there's an equal exchange of value without the distraction of sex. The problem with promoting beauty at any size is that it doesn't encourage or motivate women to make lifestyle changes to improve their health. Instead, women are being supported to stay just the way they are, no matter what their size, because as long as they feel beautiful, that's the only thing that matters. The problem is, looks are a primary attractor for men, and men do not perceive or rate your looks by the way you feel. Fitness, no matter where you are in your journey, is attractive because it demonstrates you're working on yourself to get better, become healthier, and more attractive to your partner. We also rarely consider how our health challenges impact our loved ones and those around us, like their stress level, quality of life, and happiness. Now, when it comes to dating, women especially are so consumed by the way they feel, they often fail to consider the type of beauty they need to embody to attract the type of man they desire. For example, some women perceive breast augmentation as a way to improve their own confidence and attractiveness to men, when in reality most men prefer natural breasts, even if they are small. Furthermore, we don't consider the potential complications of these procedures and how they can affect the patient's health and well-being and the hardship or burden that puts on their partner. So ask yourself, what type of man do you want and what type of beauty are they attracted to? Now, opposing this accountability is the modern feminist narrative to shame men's preferences, calling their dislike of overweight bodies as fat-phobic, instead of putting the responsibility on the woman to make a change and improve. Men absolutely do not respond in a positive way in this attempt to shame them. You can't force attraction or shame a man into connection or love. that only brews resentment and disgust. But what women can do is accept personal accountability and actively work on becoming better and improving their situation. This is an attractive trait men seek in women because it almost always leads to improvements in the relationship. But nothing should be forced. If you want to be overweight, that's your choice. But don't expect people around you to be attracted to you, to be in a relationship with you, or to have a shared vision and future with you. However, if you are overweight and wanting to make a change, I know it's not easy and results don't happen overnight, but it's the act of working on yourself that is attractive. And this applies not only to health and beauty, but also all other areas of your life. Wanting to learn, wanting to improve, wanting to become better and achieve your goals is the positive mindset that gets you places and will reward you with people starting to come to you, wanting to be around you, associated with you, and in a relationship with you. The reality is, who cares how many women tell you you're beautiful? Because when you're in the dating pool, the only thing that matters is if the men you are attracted to think you're beautiful. So put down the chocolate, put on some training shoes, and get to work. Because men, being visual creatures, that's the most proactive thing you can do to stimulate attraction from men. When you work for a large corporation or other people, you are basically selling your time and labor for money, and always at their mercy to maintain your employment. Most people start work in their late teens or early 20s and continue until retirement around 60 to 65. Somewhere in this block of time, if we are lucky, we get to do interesting things, gain knowledge, experiences, and capabilities, earn more money, manage others, turn ideas into solutions, and hopefully have some fun and enjoy our work along the way. This we loosely call a career. Now, is having a career important? Sure. But should it be the most important thing in your life? Probably not. Ultimately, we work to live, and hopefully not live to work. Unfortunately, modern feminism has led women to believe that their careers define their value and self-worth. This was certainly on full display post-World War II when women moved into the workforce en masse. Governments benefited by doubling the potential tax base. Corporations benefited by households with more disposable income, being able to afford more and more luxuries. And now, with the increased cost of living, many families require both parents to work, sometimes multiple jobs, just to keep a roof over their head and food on the table. People choose careers for money, but they also desire things like power, influence, and responsibility, which is promised to them over time and with enough effort and commitment. Unfortunately, many women spend years, if not decades, trying to reach some imaginary finish line, a utopia of achievement that will finally give them all the satisfaction they deserve and where all their hard work finally pays off. When in reality, everyone is replaceable, especially in corporate life. Even the big shots high up the corporate ladder are rarely spoken of again, because it's only the day-to-day business of the company that matters, not the individual that contributes to it day after day for a period of time. Now, when it comes to dating, men are generally not attracted to a woman's job level, or wage. Those factors are way down the list. Instead, they consider factors like beauty, loyalty, femininity, humor, is she fun to be with, sexual compatibility, sharing core values, and being a good partner and mother. In reality, men are often put off by the masculine approach many women adopt in a false perception of what is required to compete in the corporate world. Nowhere is this more apparent than in viral TikTok videos of women in their 30s, often single or in situationships, trying to figure out why men aren't interested in them or committing to them.
I just came to the realization why I'm single. Every guy that I'm like, oh yeah, he's attractive. Okay, this is not supposed to be offensive, but I see their wives and they just look like so like, you know, like, not like this. Just like, you know, like, I pretend my tattoos are gone. Dude, I look crazy. Like, that's why guys don't want to wife me up. And I just come to this realization today. See? I thought these men wanted, like, you know, big, strong, tough girls. I don't know. I feel like all of them are, like super girly, and all these guys are like, yeah, That's my girl. That's just like housewife stuff. And I'm over here like, I own my own business. I'm covered in tattoos. I'm a little spazzy, but that's okay. We embrace it. But yeah, I don't think any guy's gonna wife me up because they can't take me seriously. And I just realized that. Damn.
Their belief is that they have so much to offer. Help pay for rent, help pay for the electricity bills, help pay for food, help pay for blah, 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 blah. The funny thing is, these same women, probably just a few weeks earlier, were proclaiming they don't need a man, that they love being independent and are perfectly fine taking care of themselves. This is not an argument about women wanting financial freedom, or wanting to protect themselves from the possibility of being homeless, broke, and alone. But there is an argument for supporting women invest more time in pursuing a deep relationship with a man, raising children and experiencing the beauty of motherhood as a far more satisfying outcome than years of drudgery climbing the corporate ladder. To be clear, I'm not saying women and mothers should not have a career. Far from it. Personally, I aspire to have a very successful career, but my career goals and parameters of success will not be achieved at the expense of becoming a mother and committing myself to being the best wife and raising the best kids. What I fear is that feminism is not giving women the opportunity or making it acceptable to prioritize becoming a mother and raising a family. That somehow it's beneath women because women have now progressed far beyond the shackles of the housewife. However, the big picture reality is that we can't progress beyond our evolutionary nature and basic biology. We are humans with desires and needs to procreate, to raise our offspring and become better versions of ourselves. The modern feminist agenda and narrative is trying to remove this innate female desire from women, essentially removing part of our identity and reason for being, which has already shown to have extremely detrimental consequences if not fulfilled. Now, I know becoming a mother is not for all women, and that's completely fine, but we need to allow for more than one path for women, to support women no matter if they desire a lifetime in the corporate world, starting their own business, becoming a mother, or all of the above. We might have to change our expectations, but there's a time and place where all can be achieved. And I hope that's a message we can share and spread amongst women, especially the younger generations. It's not uncommon to hear young women take on the attitude that they are the prize, that their very existence represents high value, that must be earned, matched, or exceeded by men wanting to date them. Women fail themselves by perpetuating this attitude because it deters women from listening to what men really want and providing the real value that men look for in a female partner. Women also sabotage other women's existing relationships or dating by suggesting that the woman can do much better and that a man is not worthy of them or stepping up sufficiently to meet their needs, which can result in the woman rejecting the relationship, having been convinced there are greener pastures ahead. This can result in a hard reality check when she finds out the man she rejected was her best available option. Successful relationships require an equal exchange of value. The problem is many women are treated like a prize, but only by men they perceive as lower value and whom they are not attracted to. These are the men in their friend zone and those supplicating to them on social media and dating apps. Women have an abundance of these men available to them, and thus it alters their self-importance. But again, most women won't date these men, at least while they believe they have the power of choice or take their girlfriend's advice that they can do better. However, the prize illusion fails when viewed from the perspective of high-value men, the men who have an abundance of choice and do not view sex or beauty as rare commodities. These men are not going to chase most women. They will not court them with relationship intentions or elevate them to any value status, but they will sleep with them. High-value men have higher order objectives going on in their lives, and chasing after women is not a primary concern. These are the men women are most attracted to and the most competitive to pursue. Women who have the prize illusion believe that their presence, attention, and sex are enough to win a high-value man. But this strategy fails with men who have lots of choice, because the women who have this attitude also fail to provide any real value or reason to keep them around, beyond sexual conquest. High-value men have no incentive to chase women who provide minimal value, and no incentive to want to give them time, attention, or resources. The prize mentality will degrade and sabotage relationships that are established if allowed to be amplified by women. In the competitive sexual marketplace, smart women will not adopt the prize illusion with attractive men, and will stop listening to other women who may or may not have their best interests at heart. Instead, they will focus on complimenting their man, and elevating themselves above the attention of other women, and demonstrating their value and becoming an asset to their partner well beyond sex. In return for demonstrating this level of value, the man will be motivated to match the value he is receiving, long term and not just an initial courting phase. And since a woman is being an asset and useful to him, he is motivated to deepen the relationship. This approach contradicts the modern feminist dating advice. But ultimately, women have to decide what is most important to them. Pleasing a group of angry women with an agenda, or being in a long-term relationship with a man they love and respect. Many modern women support and encourage each other's bad behaviors. They glamorize promiscuous behaviors, promote unhealthy lifestyles, celebrate women who rise up the corporate ladder, but not those who step back to become mothers, and encourage women to take advantage of men for their own personal gain. Unfortunately, because of our social media times, these behaviors seem to be spreading like an uncontrollable virus to the masses in viral videos, hashtags, and trends. However, at the same time, I know there are so many incredible, intelligent, honest, and respectful women out there trying to be a voice of reason and role model for change. The strong, confident, and secure women who don't need other women's validation or approval, who don't seek followers or likes, but aspire to be an example for their families, communities, and everyone they come into contact with. We need more women like this, and I hope more young girls find these types of role models, so they don't make some of the same life-altering mistakes that so many modern women experience with potentially lifelong consequences. That's it from me on this video. If you like the work that I do, please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm get it out to more people. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.